what's always interesting to me is since we started, I remember saying that you had performed like 3,000 inspections, and then all of a sudden it was 4,000 inspections, and now you're up over 5,000 inspections.
Yep, pushing 6,000 inspections.
Pushing 6,000 inspections. Well, unfortunately, we will not be able to chat with you here on the air when you hit that number, but it is fun to see, the numbers just grow and grow and grow over time.
No question about it.
Since you've been here for so long, really since almost our beginning, there's been questions that I always have about kind of an inspection in general. And, you hear these things all the time, but, what really does an inspection cover? I mean, what should people expect out of one of your 5,000 or 6,000 inspections?
Well, inspections actually can vary some, but there is a standards of practice that the state finally put through licensing a couple of years ago, which was a big benefit, although a lot of guys don't practice it. But people should be going through the house completely from up on top of the roof, down through the attic, through the entire house. There are a lot of things that can be sampled, like opening windows and outlets, those kinds of things. I try to test them all, and so we look at all of those features: crawl spaces, basements, plumbing, heating, electrical, all the technical parts of the house too. So we're looking at foundations. We want to make sure that we can keep you from buying a money pit. Okay, our goal is to be as thorough as we possibly can, to give you as much information as we can so you can make an intelligent decision, but we want to deliver it to you in really kind of a non-scary, understandable format. We're not going to use a bunch of words that you don't understand. We want you to understand it, because the beautiful thing about construction, anything can be fixed. And one of the things that I find with people is they go, oh gosh, this is wrong. Like I find a foundation that's bad. But you know what? The seller's going to have to fix that foundation in order to sell his house now, okay? If you liked the area, if you like the schools, if you like all the things that go into finding a home that you like, gosh, maybe just having the seller fix it is really the answer. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter whether it's $10,000 or $30,000.
And I guess there's certain things that people get more afraid of when they see the inspection, and you talk about being able to deliver it in a non-threatening way. You've been doing this now how long? I mean, 5,000 inspections kind of speaks for itself.
A little over 13 years.
Over 13 years. And when you start looking at that many inspections, I mean, that's a breadth of experience you've probably seen everything. You told me once you saw a cougar. In an attic, maybe.
No, not a cougar. I've seen raccoons.
Somebody told me once.
I saw a cougar in my backyard. And scared
Somebody
the heck
once
out
told
of
me they saw something in an attic. Maybe it's Paul over there nodding his head. Nonetheless, you've seen everything.
Well, you still keep running into new things. But, there's no question I've probably seen 95% of it. And no question about it. Experience is the teacher, and that's one of the beautiful things about my company is we've got good long-term inspectors, so we've got the resources and stuff. So oftentimes nowadays you get the brand new inspectors that are coming out there and all excited and this and that and offering a real cheap price. Well, you know what? You get what you pay for. Knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm. So as you start to find things that maybe other inspectors wouldn't find, do you repair them ever?
Never allowed to do repairs in this state because of our licensing. They expect it kind of to be a conflict of interest or to prevent it.
It's all broken. I'll take care of it.
Exactly. That was a big problem. A lot of times, like pest companies would come in. Oh yeah, you definitely need to start getting a monthly service and stuff. And so they don't allow us to work on any home for a year minimum after we've inspected it.
They should regulate that for car mechanics. I was just thinking, you take your car in, you have no idea what's happening, then they couldn't work on it.
Interesting.
Never mind. So, Jim, as you start getting into that, looking through an entire house, how long does that take? Because some people's house, it's hard to imagine. Well, he's going to look at everything. How long should they expect?
Well, typical inspection runs around 4 hours and kind of producing the report and answering all the questions. And if it's considerably less than that, they aren't doing a thorough job. If it's considerably longer than that, it's possible, depending on the house, it can definitely take longer than that. a lot of times you get people that just really don't know what they're doing, so they got to take a long time to, they're not familiar with the things that they're looking at, but they aren't generating a good quality report too. We like to do our report on site so we can answer all the questions right there. Lots of digital pictures and stuff. A lot of guys go home and you get your report in 2 or 3 days. Some guys still do a hand-generated report, which absolutely amazes me. I mean, I love the days when I used to do that because, boy, I'd just write her up, hand it over, and we were gone. No pictures, no nothing. Those were the good, quick days. But now everything is so detailed and so precise that we want to present it that way.
And so what does it cost? I mean, if you've gone from all this basic handwritten stuff to such a pretty photo-laden report, I mean, does it start to cost more? I mean, does your inspection cost more than somebody else because of the detail?
Well, again, you get a little bit of what you pay for, but the average inspection can run for, say, a 2,000, 2,500 square foot, kind of you can get up to $800 to $1,000 depending on the kind of things that you want to add to the inspection. We do thermal imaging, we do pest inspections, we can do air samplings for mold, we can do a lot of different add-ons. We have a 5-star inspection that offers all of those things, and so yes, it's considerably more than the average inspection. For an average inspection, generally $400 to $500 will cover most things.
But you're talking about being much more thorough, and so I guess, especially if somebody's there, and I imagine people come to the inspection sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we like to see people come to the inspections. We definitely want them there for sure at the end. It's great if they're there the whole time. It's a great time for them to look through the entire house, to ask any specific questions. We like that. It's also a great time for them to spend some time walking in the neighborhood and checking with neighbors and getting to know and make sure that feel of the home is really, really good too. But we try to sit down with them at the end. I do have a lot of people that are out of the area sometimes, and that's the nice thing with the digital report. We email it to them instantly, and I'll sit down with them. And if I got to spend an hour or two on the phone with them answering all their questions and going over the report, we'll do that too.
Yeah, and you talk about the reports now being so different than they used to be. Of course, it must have taken some level of education to get from really basic reports to the detailed ones now. And of course, products are changing. The way people build houses are changing. I mean, it's a massively changing landscape. What type of continuing education do you end up getting involved in so that you can cover a house for, in Queen Anne where the foundation is maybe crumbling to a brand new home that, has never been lived in?
Right.
How do you keep up with all of that?
Well, that's a great question, Ben. The state, which is, to me, it's kind of like when people use the word code in terms of building, okay? That's kind of the bare minimum. Licensing is kind of the bare minimum. They require 12 hours of continuing education credits for 2 years, okay? That's 6 credits a year. Okay, I typically average somewhere between 50 and 60. A good inspector is always kind of wanting to know and keeping up on magazines and trade magazines and those kinds of things to be on top of it.
And so ultimately, when it all comes down to it, and you have the more education and the better reports, and you invite people to be there, you end up probably with a pretty big network of people who have come to you, which is why you've been able to, perform so many thousands of inspections.
Well, we get a lot of business from repeat clients and from referrals from those clients. We get a good chunk of business also from realtors that refer us on a regular basis.
And you jumped during the holidays.
You know what? If I can't, I've got somebody that will.
There you go.
No question. We answer our phones pretty much all day long. I've got a office staff
Eric's got a new friend over there now.
And so if you need us, we can figure out a way to get it done. Typically,
Jim.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining me, man. It's been a pleasure the last couple of years,
Happy holidays,
and
Ben.
thank you. You too.